I decided to leave. Not in the heat of an argument, not with shouting or accusations, but in the quiet clarity of realization. I wasn't someone who made impulsive decisions. I valued stability, routine. But sometimes, when the truth becomes too glaring to ignore, the only option left is to walk away. My name is Andrew, and for 3.5 years, I thought I had a solid marriage with Chloe. We met during our final year of college. She was an ambitious marketing major with big dreams, while I was a laid back software developer who preferred predictability over chaos. From the outside, we looked like the perfect couple. No kids yet, but we had the house, the pets, and a scrapbook full of future plans. Maybe it was my love of routine that made me miss the cracks forming beneath the surface. The first warning sign wasn't dramatic. It was subtle. More late nights at work, her phone constantly buzzing, yet always face down, and a growing distance between us. I chalked it up to her ambition, one of the traits I'd always admired. And then there was the bra. I found it in her car, wedged between the seat and the console when I borrowed it to grab groceries. It wasn't mine, and it wasn't hers either. I knew her wardrobe well enough to be sure. When I confronted her, she laughed it off, saying it must belong to a coworker from a post-work outing. "You're being paranoid," she said, brushing me off with a kiss and a change of subject. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But doubt is insidious. It burrows in, grows roots, and refuses to let go. I began noticing more, the phone glued to her side, the hollow way she looked at me even when we sat together. Finally, I gave in to my suspicions and followed her one night. She said she was meeting colleagues at a bar downtown. Her lie wasn't even convincing. Chloe wasn't creative when it came to deception. I parked across the street and watched. About an hour later, she walked out, laughing and leaning into Mark, a coworker I'd met at one of her holiday parties. The guy had all the charm of a sleazy salesman. I watched as they got into his car, drove to a nearby hotel, and checked in. I didn't confront her. I didn't cry or scream. I just sat there in my car, staring at the hotel entrance as if willing it to disappear. Then I drove home. For the next 2 weeks, I quietly prepared my exit. While Chloe carried on her double life, I moved essentials to a small trailer I rented on a mountain ranch. It was owned by Mike, a retired firefighter who turned his land into a haven for people starting over. Chloe barely noticed my absence. She was too busy with work. The day I left, I didn't make a scene. I left my wedding ring and a note on the counter. "Chloe, I know about you and Mark. I deserve better. Don't contact me, Andrew." Then I blocked her number. Life on the ranch was a strange kind of peace. Mike didn't ask questions, but offered quiet support when I was ready to talk. The mountains became my sanctuary. I took up hiking, worked on the ranch, and slowly began rebuilding my life. Chloe, however, didn't take the hint. Despite my request, she emailed me, at first with apologies, then with pleas, and finally with blame. I deleted them all. Months passed, and I found strength I didn't know I had. For the first time in years, I felt free. Then, one day at the local farmer's market, Chloe showed up. She looked different, tired, thinner, her usually flawless appearance disheveled. When she called my name, I froze. Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet her for coffee. Through tears, she confessed that Mark had left her, and she'd started therapy. She begged for another chance. But my mind was made up long before that conversation. When she finished, I told her, "I'm glad you're working on yourself, but I've moved on. I deserve peace, and I found it." She cried, she pleaded, she promised to change. But I stood firm. That was the last time I saw her. Now, as I sit on the porch of my little trailer, watching the sun sink behind the mountains, I feel nothing but gratitude for the pain that forced me to grow, for the friends who helped me heal, and for the freedom I found. Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away. Not every story ends with someone else. Sometimes the happiest endings are the ones we create for ourselves.